Talking about, the guard situation, we saw Chucky have 6 assists last game, but you're also being put in a lot of those combo situations where you're, the point guard in the pick and roll. What do you kind of take away from those situations, and how are you able to distribute or make the correct decision?
Yeah, it's just different looks, giving the defense different looks. Chucky's accustomed to coming off a lot of ball screens, getting downhill for us. So just giving the defense another option, another thing to look at, scout for. But that's one thing that I've worked on this summer is just my handle, being more of a playmaker for the squad this year, and being careful and taking care of the rock. So just being in those situations, making the right reads, being patient, and really just playing my game is what we've worked on.
I mean, I don't know if your usage necessarily is increased on the ball because you're also, off the ball and being able to shoot. But how have you become more efficient in a way with your touches, be it not only scoring-wise, but, with those opportunities and decision-making like that?
Right. I think it's just the trust that comes from the coaches and my teammates, which is earned, obviously, and I'm super grateful and appreciative that I've earned that trust from them. But just them putting me in the right places to be able to make good decisions and the right decisions and just, fulfill the play that we're running or, do my job on the play we're running, whether that's sprint to the corner as hard as I can or if that's a screen I'm setting or something, doing whatever it's asked for me.
In the offseason, I coined the microwave term for 2 of your top scorers, Connor, AJ, but it seems like a lot of guys on this team can just go and score. Yeah. I mean, we saw Chucky have that run. We've even seen you at times take over. How does that make the offense just run more comfortably, run more smoothly, knowing that you can have go-to guys at any time?
Right. Like you said, if you need a bucket at times, there's a couple guys on your team you can go to that you can get a bucket from. But it also just in the sense of playmaking for others. When Chucky's getting downhill, getting at the rim, it makes it easier for everybody else to be able to make plays and hit open shots when he's distributing for us. So, kind of like I said, just giving that defense another look where if, I got it or if Chucky got it or has it that night, we're running stuff off him. He's playmaking for others. So it's really just a feel thing off one another, I'd say.
And then talking about the guard play, I mean, one thing we've seen a couple of times now is the press.
Yeah.
Not necessarily incorporated as much, but Coach Gard talked about the evolution of the game. You're a feisty defender. Chucky's a feisty defender. John Blackwell's a feisty defender. How do you guys think you're going to be able to attack that press?
I think we got to stay patient and we also got to stay, under control within it. A lot of times, not a lot of times, but some of the times we want to get sped up and just try to steal every pass, which is not, you can get sped up and get out of control there really quick if you want to do that the whole game. So just knowing the principles, knowing what we got to do to keep the ball in front and just trying to, take some time off as they bring it up court, make them set up their offense a little later in the shot clock.
One thing about you is it seems like a lot of times we can point to other people scoring, we can point to other people passing, but the one stat that kind of correlates with you is minutes. Last year you played a lot of minutes. This year even, in the opener and on Monday you played a lot of minutes. How have you kind of matched your durability to the style of play here at Wisconsin, the physical style, but also the fast-paced style? How have you kind of matched your durability to that?
I think it's just with guys in the locker room that are willing to be able to teach and learn from. We got older guys like Steve, Tyler, Chucky. I know he's younger, but he acts older than his age. So I think it's easier to have those guys be able to rely on, be able to, fall back upon if you got questions, if you're not sure about something. There's a lot of new stuff we're putting in. So having guys that are accustomed to all that, it's easier for the younger guys to ask questions, come in with an open mind and things like that. But, I think the press in terms of the guys that we have, we're going to be able to turn up the heat a little bit this year, and it should be interesting for sure.
Talking about the older guys, you're kind of one of them now.
Unfortunately.
Second year in Madison, how have you been able to take a little bit more of a leadership role, knowing that, you got young guys like Connor, you got young guys like John Blackwell under you now?
Just using your voice and, I just want the best for those guys after I leave and give them all of my knowledge of what, I could possibly have given them. So, I like to say, leave it better than how you found it. So, whatever I can do, whether that's on the floor or off the floor, help them academically, whatever. Those are my guys, and, we got a super close team and everybody's willing to help each other out.
One thing that broke out before the season started, you, Steven, Carter, you guys are coming back for another year. Was there any, how were you able to come to that decision so easily? Was it kind of a no-brainer in a way?
It really just gives us more time to think about it and make the decision, to make that decision to be classified as a junior now. Kind of lets us play free of mind this year without that in the back of our head, you know what I mean? So just having that ability to have peace of mind while you're playing and not worry about, outside things that you don't need to be worried about.
Starting lineup-wise, Connor, he started a lot last year, ends up being the 6th man in a way this year. Was there any message to him, or was there any, kind of something around the team just letting him know that, you know, his role is going to be similar? What's kind of the dynamic there with him having to move the bench this year to accommodate AJ Storr?
Well, I mean, we're super deep, so
Yeah.
we got a lot of guys that are going to play, you know, regardless of kind of the whole starting thing, who doesn't. We got even more depth than we had last year, so we're going to need everybody on the bench to be ready to go at any given night. You know, like you saw at the opener, I get 2 fouls, Tyler gets 2 fouls, and I think AJ gets 2 fouls where we got to tap into our bench then in the first half. So just having guys ready to go at all times, and, you know, his mindset doesn't change. He's a killer at heart, so you don't really have to worry about those guys and how they think.
Let's talk about those 2 fouls. I mean, physicality-wise, I mean, that's something you do pride yourself on, but also how do you just not allow yourself to get in foul trouble that early and things like that?
Yeah, I took 2 of them. The first one I was beat the first one, and then took one in transition the second time, which they were in the bonus is not the greatest foul in the world probably to take while the other team's in bonus. But like I said, just being smarter, knowing the situation, having a feel for the game. You know, you got to be aware of that stuff as a guard, and if at point guard too, you got to know that stuff and have a feel for it. So just working on that, getting a better idea for the game, being more aware of what's going on.
Last year, you guys had 3 guys starting under 6'4" or 6'4" or under. This year, it's a lot more balanced with AJ kind of there in the middle. What do you think that athleticism, but also just that frame in a way, provides you and the guys in that lineup, and how does that allow for you guys to have more of a balance?
Right, like you said, it's easy to throw him off different screens and get him cutting to the rim. It attracts a lot of attention when he's moving around efficiently. And then he helps us out defensively as well in terms of the board and his athleticism of being able to stay in front of his man and guard. You know, obviously everybody's improving in mechanics and terminology and things of that sort, and really just locking into Wisconsin defense. But the steps that we've taken from the offseason and summer, I think, have been mind-blowing to me. So, but yeah, he comes in, he helps us out athletically and physically as well. So, looking forward.
Yeah, and lastly, I mean, your personal expectations and also the expectations for the team. What are you looking forward to this season, and what do you expect from, you know, this group?
Yeah, I think we expect a lot of big things from this group this year. We know what happened last year, and we know a lot of people. We got to earn our respect back in the league, probably with a lot of the teams in the Big Ten. So, I mean, we're hungry this year, and we're more ready and more prepared than ever, I feel like. So, it's a lot of guys in the locker room having the same mindset, same approach to practice in the games and the lifts. So it's pretty easy to show up and work every day when you got, you know, the whole team having that same mindset.